Nordson Corporation is proud to continue to invest in educational opportunities through our sponsorship of Academic Challenge. Nordson is a global leader in precision technology solutions with a long and proud history of giving back to the communities where we live and work. To date, Nordson and the Nordson Corporation Foundation have donated nearly $173 million to charities, awarded $7.5 million in scholarships, and our employees have logged more than 117,000 volunteer hours. Thank you for watching Academic Challenge. Best of luck to all the participants.
Today, teams from
Cardinal, Indian Valley,
Sandusky
are all here for the Nordson Academic Challenge. Yeah. Here we go, everybody. Welcome to the Nordson Academic Challenge. I am your host, Ralph Powers. Thank you so much for being with us today. We're so glad you're here. Here's the challenge. For the next 30 minutes, our teams will be tested on their knowledge of subjects like math, science, history, a few others as well. So one more time, let's hear it for our schools. It's Cardinal, it's Indian Valley, it's Sandusky. Now the winner today will be the school with the highest point total at the end of today's game. The 60 schools that appear this season are all hoping they can score enough points to make it back to our on our leaderboard and back to our 57th Nordson Academic Challenge championship game. The winner of that match will win for their school a share of $20,000 in grant money provided by our friends at Nordson. All right, let's get it started. We start every Saturday morning with the lightning round. All three teams compete in this round. I ask 10 questions. They all have a common theme. You get 20 points for a correct answer. We will take away 20 points for an incorrect or no answer. Let's start every school with 100 points. All set? All questions in this round refer to things relating to horses or equine animals. Okay? This is a winged horse in Greek mythology. Sandusky.
Pegasus.
That is correct. This mail service was active between 1860 and 1861. Answer? The Pony Express. This is the first race of the Triple Crown. Sandusky.
Kentucky Derby.
That is correct. This is the West Point mascot. Answer is a mule. A major section of Niagara Falls has this name. Answer is the Horseshoe Falls. This mythical horse-like creature has a horn on its forehead. Sandusky.
Unicorn.
That is correct. Black and white stripes distinguish this wild. Sandusky.
Zebra.
That is correct. This donkey appears in Winnie the Pooh. Cardinal.
Eeyore.
That is correct. This Anna Sewell novel exposed cruelty to horses. Answer? Cardinal?
Seabiscuit.
One more time.
Seabiscuit.
Black Beauty is the answer there. Sorry. For our final lightning round question, please welcome the president of Cuyahoga Community College's West Shore campus. This is Scott Latchley.
Technological advances have enabled us to see objects in deep space, including this distinctive nebula that is part of the Orion constellation.
Who's got it? Answer is Horsehead. Horsehead. That's the end of our first round, everybody. We're off and running. Don't go anywhere. There's still lots more of the Nordson Academic Challenge right after this. To the Nordson Academic Challenge. If you'd like more information about any of the schools that appear on this season, just scan that QR code you see in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. That code takes you to the news5cleveland.com Academic Challenge page. We have links for all of this season's schools right there for you. For us, it's time for Hot Picks. One at a time, I ask each team 8 questions selected by the captain of another team. Correct answer here worth 20 points. There's no penalty for a wrong answer. Any team answering all 8 questions correctly will receive 25 bonus points. Before we get to the questions, let's meet our players. We start with Cardinal. Emma, we start with you.
Hi, my name's Emma. I'm on our soccer team, and then I'm our head drum major for our marching band.
And you were here last year.
Yes.
Welcome back. Evan, you were here as well.
Mm-hmm. My name's Evan, and I like to play the piano, and I'm part of the Cardinal High School Key Club.
Welcome this morning. Hi, Gage.
Hi, I'm Gage, and I run track and play basketball at Cardinal High School.
Well, welcome to Cardinal High School being here this morning. Thank you very much. Haley, captain of Indian Valley. You get to pick our questions. Would you like envelope 1, 2, 3, or 4?
2.
You got it. Okay. Cardinal, these are all yours. All set? Here we go. As one of his 12 labors, Hercules had to steal the girdle of the queen of what warrior women, whose name was given to South America's longest river?
Amazon?
That is correct. It's not unusual in mythology for people to be changed into animals, but a woman named Asteria was changed into an island by what chief classical god? Answer?
Zeus?
Zeus is correct. Creation, sin, and redemption, the three themes that Michelangelo tried to illustrate in the murals he painted. In what chapel in the Vatican?
The 16th chapel?
Sistine Chapel is correct. Let's go to the monitor. Here is your science question. Which of these is the common term for the triglycerides which constitute a concentrated source of food energy?
Fats?
Fats is correct. The Taimyr Peninsula, which supports the world's largest herd of reindeer, is located in what cold Russian region, once known for its forced labor camps?
Siberia?
That is correct. You meet lots of lords in literature, including the lord in the title of what William Golding novel about a group of boys stranded on an island after a plane wreck?
Lord of the Flies?
That is correct. Back to the monitor. Here's your math question. We ask you to perform the indicated operation.
400?
400 is correct. January 1st, that was big. This is for the bonus points here. January 1st, Independence Day in what French-speaking Caribbean nation whose early leaders included Toussaint Louverture?
Haiti?
Haiti is correct for the bonus points. Way to go, Cardinal. All right, that gets us to Indian Valley. Haley, you are the captain. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Haley. I'm a senior, and I actually had a twin sister on the show last year.
Just last year, and you were in the stands. Welcome
No,
back.
I wasn't here.
Oh, you weren't here. I thought you looked familiar. It was your sister. I'm just kidding. Glad to have you here. Hi, Aubrey.
Hi, my name's Aubrey. I'm a senior, and one time while golfing, I got a hole-in-one.
You did? Congratulations. That is awesome. Monica, you are also a twin, and your twin was on the show last year as well.
Hi, my name's Monica. I'm a senior, and I really like pineapple on pizza.
Fantastic. All right, welcome, Indian Valley. Great to have you here. Samuel, the captain from Sandusky, you get to pick our questions, 1, 3, or 4.
3.
You got it. Okay, Indian Valley, these are all yours. All set? Here we go. In terms of population, one of Idaho's smallest counties, with under 1,000 residents, is named for what explorer whose partner was Meriwether Lewis?
Clark?
That is correct. An item of clothing called a hymation was the ancient Greek equivalent of what Roman garment that was a symbol of citizenship?
Toga?
That is correct. Among those Americans who bitterly denounced the 1857 Dred Scott decision was what abolitionist who led a raid at Harper's Ferry 2 years later?
Brown?
John Brown is correct. Let's go to the monitor. Here's your science question. Which of these gems is an allotrope of carbon?
Diamond?
That is correct. For hundreds of years, northern Guatemala retained some of the culture of what pre-Aztec Indian people who had built cities on the Yucatan Peninsula. Answer?
Mayan?
That is correct. In addition to writing a successful play or two, Shakespeare also produced over 100 examples of what type of 14-line poem?
Sonnet?
That is correct. Back to the monitor. Here's your math question. If y equals 2, what is the value of x?
0?
0 is correct. That was big. This is for the bonus points. The Cyrillic alphabet was created in 893 by students at the Peslov Literary School. In what country where Sofia is the capital? Answer? Is Bulgaria. Nice round, Indian Valley. Good job. Good job. All right. And that gets us to Sandusky High School. Samuel, in the middle seat, you are our captain. Tell us about yourself.
I'm a senior at Sandusky, and I do swim.
Good for you. Hi, Brady.
This is my first year doing academic challenge, and I like drinking matcha.
Good for you, Brady. Ezekiel, you are up.
This is also my first year doing Academic Challenge, and I also like matcha.
It's very popular. Thank you all for being here, all 9 of you. Thanks for coming to our little program today. For your question, Sandusky, we come down to Cardinal. Emma, 1 or 4?
I'm going to go with 4.
You got it. All right, Sandusky, these are all yours. All set? Here we go. Many historical agreements are called pacts, but what compact names the agreement signed by the Pilgrims after their voyage to America?
Mayflower.
That is correct. The drainage basin of what longest river covers 11 African countries, 10% of the continent?
Nile.
That is correct. The world's largest living organism is a single underwater plant that covers 77 square miles and is named for what Greek god of the sea?
Poseidon.
That is correct. Let's go to the monitor. Here is your science question. Which of these terms refers to a study of tissues?
Histology.
That is correct. The fewer the words, the better the prayer, said what Protestant religious leader who used more than a few words in the 95 Theses he posted in 1517?
Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther. I'm sorry about that. It's just Martin Luther. Thank you. Generations of children have read about what dragon-like creature in a Lewis Carroll poem, which opens with the line, "'Twas brillig and the slithy toves."
Puff the Magic Dragon.
Jabberwocky is the answer there. Sorry. Let's go to the monitor. Back to the monitor for your math question. Which of these figures represents the largest number?
3 cubed.
That is correct. Sharks are found not only in the ocean, but also in what large lake located in and named for the Central American country whose capital is Managua? Answer? Answer is Nicaragua. Nice round, Sandusky. Nice round, every one of you. We'll be back with more academic excitement right after this. Courtesy of our partners at Cuyahoga Community College, it's Robin Henry, Admissions Navigator. Robin, thank you so much for being here today. All right, for us, welcome back to the Nordson Academic Challenge. Before we kick off the next round, we're going to take a look at our scores so far. We got a tight game. We got a good game here. Third place, Indian Valley, 240 points. Sandusky, 280 points. And Cardinal right now in the lead with 285 points. All right, this is our picture perfect round. Every question in this round has some sort of picture or graphic, and for every correct answer, we award 20 points, but for a wrong answer or no answer, we take away 20 points. This is for all 3 teams, okay? So hands on the buzzers, eyes on the big monitor down front. All set? Here we go. In addition to buffalo hunts, George Catlin painted Native Americans doing a ceremonial dance named for what other animal known as the Taurus in the zodiac? Sandusky.
Bull.
That is correct. Most of these crew members died when what American warship was blown up in Havana Harbor in 1898? Answer is the Maine, the USS Maine. Holding a snake and wearing a halo, this is a self-portrait of what French artist whose most famous works depict the people of Tahiti? Answer is Gauguin. Choice. In the coordinate plane, would you find the point described here in the first, third, or fourth quadrant? Indian Valley.
Third.
Third is correct. This is the flag of what small? Sandusky.
Tunisia.
That is correct. This was the philosophy of what American jazz musician, a man nicknamed Duke? Sandusky.
Ellington.
That is correct. Mint got its name when mythical Persephone changed the nymph Minthe into a plant out of jealousy over what classical god of the underworld? Cardinal.
Pluto.
That is correct. The Buckeye Trail runs through the Cuyahoga Valley National Park as seen in this edition of Cleveland Magazine. This national park was established in what year? The same year Richard Nixon resigned. Answer is 1974. That's the end of that round. Nicely done. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with today's Mix It Up round right after this. Welcome back to the big show. It's time to meet today's school advisors from Cardinal. It's James Kennedy from Indian Valley. Hey, Blair Emler. And from Sandusky, it's Christy Mitchell. Thank you all so much for being here and getting the kids in here. Time for us to mix it up here. One at a time, I ask each team 6 questions. A correct response here is worth 20 points. There's no penalty for a wrong answer. If you answer all 6 questions correctly, you get an additional 25 bonus points. All set? Okay. Cardinal, you're up first. Here we go. You'll gain 20 points if you find here the hidden name of what Middle East country whose capital is Amman.
Jordan.
That is correct. Which of these 3 words means the same as the verb to imitate?
To emulate.
That is correct. If you rearrange the letters in this phrase, you can name what London Abbey, the traditional site of British coronations. Answer is Westminster. Sorry about that. All the consonants are missing here from the name of what Central Asian country that shares its name with a southern U.S. state?
Georgia.
That is correct. Which of these animals is a primate?
Chimpanzee.
That is correct. This is an observation from what Russian author who went through a lot of history in his novel War and Peace?
Leo Tolstoy.
Leo Tolstoy. Tolstoy is the answer there. Sorry, Cardinal, but nice round. Good job. All righty. And now it's Indian Valley. Y'all ready to roll? Here we go. Unscramble this secret recipe and see if you can find the hidden name of what Greek island, home of the ancient Minoan civilization.
Crete.
That is correct. Early in the 20th century, writer William Woodward coined which of these words, meaning to expose inaccurate statements?
Debunk.
That is correct. If you don't want to visit Ghent, rearrange the letters to name what British tourist attraction, a prehistoric circle of huge rocks on Salisbury Plain. Answer is Stonehenge. Stonehenge. Here you have every other letter in the last name of what African-American abolitionist who published the North Star newspaper?
Douglas.
That is correct. Which of these terms names the scientific dating process which establishes the age of fossil remains?
Carbon-14.
That is correct. And you shall know who said this if you can identify what author of Brave New World. Answer is Aldous Huxley. Huxley's the answer. Indian Valley, nice round. All righty. Sandusky, y'all set? Here we go. Keep your eyes wide open. See if you can see in this hidden phrase the name of what capital city of Ireland?
Dublin.
That is correct. You would most likely feel jubilant in which of these circumstances?
You won the lottery.
Yes. Slice away at this anagram and you can rearrange the letters to name what medieval Spanish kingdom joined to Aragon by the marriage of Ferdinand and Isabella. Answer is Castile. Castile. You can name this Idaho River by filling in the blank with the name of what fish that swims upstream to spawn.
Salmon.
That is correct. Scientists have discovered a mysterious empty space in the Grand Pyramid at Giza, using which of these devices that can determine particles from outer space?
Spectroscope.
The muon detector is the answer there. This statement was part of the last letter written by what daring woman pilot whose plane disappeared over the Pacific in 1937?
Amelia Earhart.
That is correct, and that is the end of that round. Holy cow, we're on a roll. Don't go anywhere. We're back with our final and deciding grab bag round right after this.
News 5.
Welcome back. Let's get right to it. This is our grab bag round. All 3 teams compete in this round. As many questions as I can ask here. For every correct answer, it's 30 points, but a team will lose 30 points for a wrong answer or a no answer. For all 3 teams, hands on the buzzer, eyes on the monitor when we need it. Here we go. Author Marcel Proust lived in a soundproof room lined with what soft wood product also used to cap wine bottles? Indian Valley.
Cork.
That is correct. The 1861 legal case Ex parte Merriman established that President Lincoln had no right to suspend what legal writ, even in wartime? Sandusky.
Press.
One more time.
Freedom of press.
Habeas corpus is the answer there, sorry. According to Army regulations, the U.S. flag flies at half-mast only until noon on what federal holiday observed at the end of May? Sandusky.
Memorial Day.
That is correct. Choice. This Madonna work of the 15th century Florentine artist, is it Cezanne, Botticelli, or El Greco? Answer is Botticelli. The space capsule bearing the Apollo 12 astronauts was nicknamed for what fast Yankee? That's our final buzzer. We go right to the scores from there. Here we go. In second place today with third place today with 370 points is Indian Valley. In second place today with 385 points, it's the team from Cardinal. And the winner of today's academic challenge with 420 points, it's Sandusky. Way to go, way to go. All righty, please be with us next week. Our three schools next week: Bedford Heights, Highland, and Lutheran West. Thanks for being here for this one. I'm Rob Powers. Study hard, and we'll see you right back here next week.